We have just completed our tour of the entrance area of Cloudland Station along with Lake Angela. We're now going to focus our attention on the village of Cloudland Station. As you can see from this rendering, we have a vision for a sweet little mountain village. It's nestled right at the head of our own Peacock Valley. You notice the architecture is rather eclectic. Most towns weren't built in a day, but rather each building was built at different time periods that span sometimes hundreds of years. In our case, our first building is presumed to have been built around 1790. It's our little schoolhouse, and it anchors the town in colonial South. We're going to use that schoolhouse as a lending library for the community. And behind that is the Southern Meeting Hall, sort of the town hall for our little village. And upstairs is going to be a tea room. We hope the ladies will take that over with some beautiful views. And the downstairs will be just a handsome, comfortable space with a big fireplace. Now across the green on the right in the foreground is the general store, and that'll serve all the purposes of a real general store for the community, providing a sundry of items for those that are both permanent guests to the community. Next to that building is the Appalachian Opera House. Most mountain towns had an opera house. They didn't provide much in the way of opera, but they served as the civic center and had a lot of vaudeville comedy come through. Most of them today are town theaters, and so will be the case of ours. We're going to have our own little town theater in the Appalachian Opera House. At the end of the green on the far right, overlooking the creek, is our cafe. And that is our town. Now the first building we've actually completed is the schoolhouse. You can see the charm that our very esteemed architect Dr. Durham Crowd has created. Done an exceptional job. Behind the schoolhouse, we used to have an old home there that was in such a state of disrepair when we bought the property. We couldn't salvage it, but we built a patio to memorialize it. Behind that is our ice house bathrooms. It's a round building built into the berm of the hill. It oversees our park. The little park area is green space that runs along the creek next to town. And the creek is just beautiful in this area. We've got several little cascades and pools. The kids love to wade in, and a neat little rope swing that they will swing for literally hours. Perhaps the highlight of the area is the treehouse. We had brought in a group out of Seattle, Washington that's considered the best treehouse builders in the world. They do work all over the globe, and they did a phenomenal job for us. Cloudland Station is just such a rich area of fauna and varieties. Here are a couple of wildflowers basking in the sun just next to the treehouse. Across the creek, a little further into the woods, we have a sweet little pond, Wishing Bridge Pond. On the way out of town, heading deeper into the property, we pass by an old wagon barn, and in the loft of that barn we've created a little fort for the kids. Proceed further, we cross a covered bridge, and that empties us into the first neighborhood adjacent to town, which is Mill Creek Circle. And there we have built our first stone cottage. You can see Lookout Mountain off in the distance. Behind the cottage, we actually own property almost to the top of Lookout Mountain. Much of our neighborhoods are scattered on the mountain as well. We'll take a look at this in more detail, this cottage, in a later clip, but for now that concludes our tour of the village of Cloudland Station. Thank you.